Welcome my friends to my hyper invested account review. Now, I'll give you a little bit of background information before we get started. This account was started just over a year ago, and I'm yet to spend a single cent on it. It's on the American server of my main account, so we're sitting about 260 ping, which, you know, it's not that bad for being in Australia. Now this account has one goal in mind. This was made to find the units I really like and push them to their absolute max. And right now, I have two of them. They are Yoimiya and Yelan. Now, I've got nothing left to say. Let's get going. People often say that the weapon ban is a scam and never to wish on it. But I'm stupid, and if you've seen my previous building Yoimiya video, you know that I got absolutely fucked. So if anyone's after a lamp, just hit me up. Now after that tragedy, I learned absolutely nothing, and I decided to go broke on the weapon banner again. And so, on the most cracked weapon banner in history, I decided to go for Yelan's weapon, which went absolutely perfect. I had to go to hard pity again, get in the spear, then the Homer, and finally, the Aqua. But this is a win, as I'll use the Homer on Zhongli someday. Other than those weapons, I have the Lost Prayer from Standard Banner, and I've got a few other 4 stars that I keep around at level 90. Still hunting that Thundering Pulse for Yoimiya. One day. Moving on to the artifacts. I'm not going to spoil my main character's artifacts, as I'll show them in the full build later, but I'll show some of my other cracked ones. Like this piece. I got this piece like last week, and if you look closely, you can see that that's actually crit rate. So it's not a bad piece, sitting at a solid 40.4. Next up, this piece is sitting at a solid 39.6 crit value. Fortunately, it's defense percent, which my Yonjin really couldn't give a shit about, but that's alright, still nice. Now these two are both nice, sitting at a solid 39.7 on this one with a bit of ER as well, and 40.4 on this one, so pretty good. And the last one I'll show off is this ER timepiece here, and it's sitting at a solid 38.1, so not too bad. If you want to see my best Emblem and Shimenawa's pieces though, I'll show them off when I show off Yoimiya and Yelan in the next section. Next, onto the materials. I'll go through these next through quite quickly as no one really cares about it. I've got a few books left over as I don't really level characters, and I've got quite a few boss mats as well because I don't really spend them, so I don't really farm them either. And I have 4 crowns at the moment, so that's enough to triple crown someone else if I want. Alright, it's time for my food review, and well, if you're wondering why I have 1700 cooked steaks, well, blame this fella. After taking him out, I made sure to hunt down the rest of his bloodline, just to be sure. And, well, now I won't have to go hungry for a few more years. Lastly, let's move on to the precious items. And currently I have 11 fragiles, which I plan to save them and I'll spend them when the next character art comes that I want. Now I have 70 wishes right now, and also an extra 50 star glitter. But I'm on pity for both banners right now, so I'm just saving until someone comes along. Alright, I'll speed run through the average support builds and get to the good ones. First up, Xingqiu. I only built him for Spiral Abyss so that Yoimiya can vape when Yelan solos the other half. So he's only level 70, he's got Sack Sword level 80, and his talents are 156. His artifacts are just the Emblem Yelan leftovers, but they're still alright. So this one here, that's not bad. This one is quite good. This is the ER timepiece I showed before, so not bad. And this piece is gross. I mean, it's on set and Hydra damage, but like, yeah, no, it's not it. And finally, this one. It's not bad, it's alright, just average. So he has a 65 140. with 245 ER, which is okay. I'd probably level him up a bit and his talents, but I really can't be bothered. Onto Yunjin. She's a great buffer for Yoimiya, so I have her level 80 right now with the Fav Lance C2, which is really nice constellation, and her talents are 1, 6, and 8. The artifacts are not that impressive. I just went full defense percent, but somehow I managed to get quite a lot of crit value in there as well, so yeah. Anyway, here's her final stats. Next up, Bennett. Now, I tried to get his base attack as high as I possibly could, so he'd buff Yoimiya's attack the most. So I got him to level 90, and I gave him the Sapwood Blade, which has a good base attack plus ER. And his talents are 1, 4, and 10. He's also C1, which helps, and he's on Noblesse for that extra attack buff. I'll quickly skim through his artifacts. And here are his stats. Now, it's time for what we've all been waiting for. After I show these two builds, I'll show what they can do by themselves, and then as a team as well. Starting with Yelan, she is level 90. She has her signature Aqua Simulacra, which is also level 90. She has no constellations yet. I am planning on getting C2, which would be a huge boost, and eventually in the far future, C6. Oh, and she's triple crowned, of course. Now, my Yelan's artifacts are actually crazy. They're crazy enough to put me 104th best in the world, at least according to Akasha. And in case you're new to this game or not sure what Yelan is looking for in terms of artifacts, I'll break it down for you. Her signature weapon gives 88.2% crit damage. So what we're looking for is a good balance of crit rate, crit damage, HP percent, as that's what she scales off, and also a good chunk of ER, because I'll run her with no other Hydra on the team. Let's start with the flower. Now this piece is alright. It's coming in at a solid 35 crit value and also 8.2% HP, which is good. However, it was only a 3-line start and the flat attack could be something like ER. This piece could definitely be improved in the future. However, this next piece, I don't think it can. This is very good, and although it's a 3-line start, the substats on this are absolutely perfect. I don't think this piece will ever be switched out. Also, I think this is my highest crit value piece on this account at least, so that's really nice. Before this piece I was running my Xingqiu's piece, which was really good as well, but it doesn't hold a candle to this one. Next up, we have the timepiece, and I'm running an ER timepiece as I use Yelan with Yoimiya alone. Now, this is definitely my worst piece. It started out with a 4-line start, but then it rolled once into defense and once into flat HP. Flat HP roll isn't the end of the world, but this piece could definitely be better. Next, we have my off piece, which doesn't look good at first glance, but is insanely good. It was a 4-line start, and then it rolled 4 more times into HP percent, giving it 25.7% HP, which perfectly balances, as I don't have an HP timepiece. Like the feather, this would be an extremely difficult piece to switch off of. I don't think this piece will ever be topped. Nor do I think that about this piece. It is pretty much perfect. I could nitpick and say flat defense could be flat HP, and it wasn't a 4-line start, but overall this piece will be very hard to top. So, my final stats. I got 32,500 HP, with an 87-215 crit ratio, along with 192 ER. Now, it's time to show you what she can do. Alright, it's time for Yoimiya. She is level 90. She has the Rust at R5. No constellations as of yet. Maybe in the future, we'll see. And she is triple crowned, yes, even including the burst. Now, her artifacts are really good, but there is definitely still room for improvement on a lot of the pieces. And I'm planning to spend pretty much all of my resin in Emblem Domain until I'm fully happy with her. So I'm excited to see what she'll look like in another year. First up, the flower. This piece had a lot of potential. It was a 4-line start and also had 3 good substats. It's just unlucky about the 16 HP percent, but nevertheless, it's still a 36.5 crit value, but it could still definitely be better. Now for the feather. And this piece is pretty much the same as the last piece. It has 3 great substats, but it also has a dead defense roll. So it's a little bit better than the last one at a 37.3 and some attack percent as well, so not bad. Now, the timepiece has been my biggest struggle. I just can't seem to get a good attack percent one. I have this one here and also another very average one, so I'm still looking for an absolutely godly one. However, this piece does give quite a lot of crit rate, which is definitely useful, as it lets me run a crit damage mask. So, not the end of the world sitting at a 32.7 crit value. Now this piece is quite good. It is unfortunate on the dead defense roll, but it's still a 36.6 with an extra attack roll as well, so not too bad overall. Oh, plus the crit rate's quite high, which is really good. It balances the build out quite nice. Now for the final piece, my crit damage mask, and I got this mask so long ago and haven't switched off it since. Now 12.5% crit rate isn't terrible, but I just don't roll good masks. I don't know what it is. Across both my accounts, this is my best crit damage mask, but there's still room for improvement. Now, for my final stats. And keep in mind this is the Rust, so it is 66 crit damage less than a normal Thundering Pulse build. So I have 2.4k attack with a 71 186. This is definitely nothing to complain about. Now, let's give her a little demonstration. So, what are my future plans for this account? Well, the goal remains the exact same. I plan to get Zhongli in the near future and completely triple crown and max him out. That will fully complete the first team of this account, involving Yoimiya, Yelan, Bennett and Zhongli. Then, I want to get some cons for my Yelan. I'm going to go for C2 and in the far future, hopefully C6 her. So there's not many characters out right now that I want for this account. Definitely Zhongli, that's one of them, but maybe a Ganyu. It would also fit the bow theme I seem to have going on. But most likely I'm probably just going to wait for a new DPS to come out that I really like and build their best team around them. Now as for what I'm going to spend my resin on, I have just finished farming all the dendro pieces I want, so I plan to stay in the emblem domain for a very long time, as both of my builds can still be improved, and I'll probably switch domains when a new character comes out that I want to farm for, or when I'm finally happy with both the builds. Anyways, thanks for watching. I might do a yearly update on my builds if they've changed a lot, but we'll have to see how we go. Cheers.